scared Grandpa more than you even scared me.
Sorry, Grandpa.
I am Pamela.
That is Jazz.
And this is the first ever official episode of the It Was Never a Phase podcast featuring me and Jazz.
So when we became a fan, first became a fan, I was 14. It was in June 2019. I don't know why I worded it like the way I just did, but here we are. And it was the start of June, but I didn't make my fan account towards the end of the June 2019. So it was, I always remember the specific date I made my fan account and never the day I became like a full-on fan. So I always go off the date I made my fan account that I became a fan of Max Harvey. So the date obviously is 22nd of June. And I made my first fan account for them, which was max_harvey.mp4. And then a few months down the line of having that account, I think it was just before a year of that account, Instagram was like, yeah, no, we don't like that account, so it deleted it. But I miss it so much. But so then I made another one called Milksy Mills with one S. The one S is important because of reasons I'll get into. And that lasted from the May 2020 until the January 2021, and then Instagram was like, yeah, no, we still don't like you, bye. So I made another account, and I made Milksy Mills with 2 S's, and touch words that still stays here to this day because I've still got it. And yes, so June 2019 was when I became a fan, and I am so glad I became a fan of Max Harvey, because otherwise I wouldn't have known Pamela and a load of my other friends as well. So
I became a fan in early 2018. I don't remember the specific day because I didn't make a fan account or anything until later on. But I became a fan, I think, maybe March, April of 2018, and then I made a fan account. I believe it's June 8th, 2018. And I was 15 at the time, so what a lovely age. How we met.
oh, that's actually quite, because that sounds really bad when I say oh, because it's not that I don't remember, but I can't actually remember like our first specific conversation.
Right. So we officially met April of
2022. Yeah, I remember the first time we met, but I can't remember how we actually became friends before then. That sounds really bad. Yeah, I think there was like obviously mutual people that we were kind of.
We were in a group chat for the Birmingham show in 2022. And yeah, and the way we met was me and my grandpa were trying to walk to McDonald's in the pouring rain. Like, it was like pouring.
Horrible.
It was horrible. And we were just walking, and then out of nowhere, because I didn't know like many people there, so out of nowhere I just hear Pamela. I turn around and it's just a little Jazz with her hood up, and it's like, I'm like, wait, what's your names again? I'm like, Jazz. We talked for the rest of that day, but we didn't really talk much like on our own once I went home. And then I think we started talking more when we went to the Chester nightclub in March 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still crazy that you actually flew to that. Like, I'm glad you did, but it's still like, you know, mind-blowing that you did that.
Yeah, I was having not the greatest time, so I was like, I really just need to. I was also, our friend Charlotte wanted me to come out for her birthday. Yeah. Because her birthday was the week after that. And I was like, it's possible. So I figured out everything, and I I left home on Wednesday. I arrived to Charlotte's on Thursday. We went to Chester on Friday. We left Chester on Saturday, and then I flew home on Sunday. I did not get very much sleep in that time frame. But that night was a lot of fun. But that it was basically a weekend. That weekend was so like insane and so much fun, and I loved it.
But when I travelled to Glasgow, obviously I was only there from the Friday evening till the Monday morning. Well, I say morning, it was technically afternoon by the time I left, but it was still only a few days and I was still really tired. Like I was
So bad.
sleep that weekend. But I also became ill from Glasgow, so that was.
To be fair, it was like raining and cold and
Yeah, because I think this is one of the main triggers I got ill. I wonder how from the rain.
yeah, we were outside for 2 days straight and it was just raining.
And don't forget the massive puddles that someone decided to tread in and soak the whole back of my legs.
I did. So I don't always like pick up my feet completely when I walk. And I went to walk and my foot went right through a puddle and it like got everyone's backside.
I think it was just me. I don't think it was anyone else.
No, it was. I think it was the other Jasmine too.
I think I was, yeah, but I think I was the main one that got absolutely drenched in.
It wasn't on purpose. I apologized. No, but it was very funny.
How many times have we met Max and Harvey? This is a good question for me because I need to check my highlights. 2 seconds.
I can't even check my highlights because I haven't updated it in so long. Okay, while you do that, I'm gonna count.
It won't take me long. I should be probably faster than. It's only because of the fact that I've met Max more times than Harvey. The fact that Max has done football matches that Harvey hasn't been to.
And Harvey didn't stop after the Chester nightclub.
Yeah, I think I counted Chester as one kind of meeting though, so it wasn't like.
Yeah, because they saw us like before they walked off stage, but it wasn't like you couldn't really hear them, you could barely see them.
So I've met Max 22 times and I've met Harvey 18 times.
Woo!
Really glad that they're on even numbers. I'm grateful for the amount of times I've met them in all
Okay.
All right, so I've met them about probably 35 times, which is that's mind-blowing, and I'm so incredibly grateful for how many times I've met them. I didn't realize it was that much, and it's all in a mixture of the past 6 years because I'm not from over there and they don't come over here. But anyways, I've saved up so many times to be able to go and do that, and I've also gone in debt to be able to do that, as they told me don't go into debt for them. But it's a little too late for that. And then I've met Tilly 7 times. No! I've met them 36 times.
Oh my gosh.
Because of September.
I mean, I did count that in mine because mine's in I've updated my highlights.
I haven't updated my highlights in so long. It hasn't been updated since. I don't think it's been updated since 2022 or 2023. But no, I've still like it's incredible to have the feeling of being able to meet them so many times, and I'm forever grateful for that because they've helped me through so much in life. And like luckily I've had people around me to support me to help me do those things. specifically Grandpa
Grandpa.
and my husband Joey.
Joey.
People love both of them more than they love me.
Hey, no, that's not true.
Well, everyone just loves Grandpa, but everyone just loves him, and then now they've turned to loving Joey so much because Grandpa's not coming over to the UK anymore. And so funny because in London, I was like the sixth or seventh person to show up, and as we were walking down the sidewalk, I hear one Pamela, and then I just hear Joey, 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 like, and they're all like, "How Joey?" I'm like, do I just need to leave them? But yeah, we're both so incredibly grateful for how many times we've gotten to meet them. It hasn't always been the easiest, but we still made it work. And Max and Harvey and Tilly show their appreciation for the insane things that we do, which makes us feel like we should do even more things.
Yeah.
What stuck out about them when you first found them?
Oh. Oh, wow. You're making me think now. Not that it's a bad thing, by the way. Not that it's a bad thing. I think when I first became a fan, when I first become a fan of like people, so it could be anyone that I'm a fan of, obviously, I have to watch some of their videos or any of their content that they do on like TikTok or YouTube or whatever first before I know I'm going to become a fan of them. Because, I've got to kind of get the sense of who they are and like how their personalities are. And
You want to learn more about them before you just.
because but the funny thing is, I say that I followed like Max and Harvey were one of the first ever few accounts I followed when I got Musically in 2016. And I just never it sounds really bad, but I just never became a fan of them until obviously the June 2019. Only like 3 years too late, But it's fine, and I'm glad I became a fan of even when I did, because I got to see so many different things happen, like them achieving things in 2019 after I became a fan, and obviously the years after, and still to this day what they're achieving. I think what stuck out to me is their humor and their love and appreciation for their fans, because I'm so thankful and grateful to have known like the people I'm fans of. I'm a fan of, sorry, not multiple people and one person. That they've interacted with me and I've had interaction from them, but mostly Max and Harvey have been the ones that have mostly interacted with me, and I'm so like that's what I love about social media stars or famous people that are like that, because the interactions can make someone's day 10 times better if they're having
Really
such a
can.
yeah, like because there's been so many times where I've just been going through a rough day or whatnot, and I've had like a few interactions with Max and Harvey, and I just love it. Like, and I'm very grateful for every interaction I've had with Max and Harvey. So yeah, the main thing to get out of what I'm saying is the main thing that stuck out to me was how appreciative and loving and caring they are for their fans and their sense of humor and personalities. They're great
Thank
people.
you.
I think. I think what stuck out about me was like I was going through a really rough time when I found them, and they were just so funny. Like they could be serious if they wanted to, but they were funny, and like they made you laugh. It's like they somehow knew that people were having a rough day, and they just wanted to make sure that everyone had a smile on their face. I was just like, well, if they're gonna be like this, I want to be a fan. I want to see how they're doing.
I definitely do think that they've helped quite a few people, because they, as you just said, like for you personally, they've helped you, and for me especially as well. When I was when I first became a fan of Max and Harvey, I was still in school, so they definitely helped me get through it because, in all fairness, and I'll be honest about this, I didn't have realistically, any good days when I was in school. I was always treated horribly and all that, so I'd come home in like a proper horrible mood, and then either one of them would be live or they'd just like post or something like that, and it would just immediately make my day 10 times better because it was just like a distraction. And they're just very helpful people, and I love them.
Whether they know it or not, and they do know it, but sometimes they just don't know the depth of how incredibly grateful we are for them.
Why did we make fan accounts?
Oh, I think I mostly made a fan account because I had a fan account for another I had a fan account for a band, and I was like, well, I'll make a fan account for them too. I enjoy them. I enjoy, like, I want to meet other people that also love Max and Harvey, so I might as well.
Yeah.
And now we're almost 8 years strong on the fan account.
Crazy. I made mine because I can't remember like how I was making it, but before Max and Harvey, I had other fan accounts for people. Still a fan of the Vamps. It's not that I'm not a fan of them, but
She's an insane fan of them.
I actually have a poster up there.
I'm too blind, I can't see that.
No, I don't think it's very focused anyway. I had one for Sam and Colby with my friend, and I was the only one that mainly posted on it, and my friend didn't really post on it, so it didn't really go anywhere. Still a fan of Sam and Colby to this day as well, but I just thought making a fan account with them or still having a fan account for them wasn't really going anywhere, so I just kind of stopped that. So I think I was kind of debating on whether I should or not, but I was like, I really want to be involved. I really want to be involved in this whole fandom because, I want to make friends and I want to show much more of my appreciation to Max and Harvey than, just it being from my main account where, like, realistically at this point in time, because there was people from my school who followed Max and Harvey on Instagram especially, and I was just too scared to comment on anything that people from my school, if they followed them, they'd see my comments and they'd probably take the mick out of me even more at school because I cared so much about people's opinions in school. It was, and I wish I took, because in all fairness, I still do slightly to this day, but I don't care as much as what I did in school, and I think that's what made my mental health go a bit. But I'm not going to go into that because that's not that's not what we're talking about. But yeah, so I made my fan account, and I think the whole reason I was said was because I want to show more of appreciation to them, and I actually want to interact with them more than just liking a post, and reposting their posts on my close friends and all that. So I made Max_Harvey.mp4, and the reason I came up with that name was because it was literally similar to my one for Sam and Colby I had.
That was the exact reason how I came up with my name.
That's really funny. So
we're really creative.
So creative. And so I was just like, you know what? Let's make a long username. Why not? Because literally I couldn't think of anything else at that point in time. Username. So I'll quickly come up with why Milksy Mills is Milksy Mills real quick, if that's okay.
Absolutely not.
Reason being Milksy Mills is Milksy Mills was because of the fact that there was a live back in 2020 when Max and Harvey did It's Alive. They were, what fun times they were. What a throwback. And I think someone commented something like, we should be renamed to Milksies instead of Millsies.
Oh yeah, isn't it like strawberry milk or something?
Yeah, because strawberry milk was brought into conversation. That's where someone obviously commented we should be called Milksies instead of Millsies.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be funny, and I actually did when I had my first ever account. I actually jokingly changed my username to Milksy Mills for like a few seconds, and then after that live ended, I changed it back to normal, back to my first one. So I was like, so because I couldn't do anything similar to when my first ever account was deactivated, I couldn't do anything similar to that username. I was like, you know what, I'll just use Milksy Mouse, and here we are.
With two S's.
Yeah, two S's. It's really funny because Max was like, "What a normal username" when he guested me 5 years ago. I was like, okay, but he was being sarcastic. I I don't know. I think that's probably the most normal username, not normal, but normal-ish.
There's some odd usernames out there.
But I think the more like depending on how odd they are, the more like
memorable they are. Mine is Max and Harvey underscore fan02, which it's not very memorable. I came up with it was identical to a fan account that I made for some other people, except for a different name, obviously. And now it's gotten to the point in time where I've had the exact same name for basically 8 years, and I'm really like, I'm too far in. I'm too deep in to change it. How being a fan has helped us.
So being a fan has helped me because it's from when I go through tough days. Even now, when I still go through my tough days, it's like an escape of reality. Like because obviously I can edit, I can make any edit I want to realistically, um, and I'd make it, and it'd be very helpful to me. If Max and Harvey ever did a live, helpful. Post, helpful. Anything like any sort of things that they do, or like I can do for myself whilst obviously being a fan, and like as I said, making edits. It's really helpful because I obviously, as I said, when I was in school, I didn't have realistically any good high school years because of how people treated me. Uh, School was also really bad for dealing with all of that because so it made it 10 times worse. It was just not fun for me, poor little old Jazz, just going through it, and you know, so like even like because realistically my friends in school weren't my actual friends. Let's just say that, and so you know going home and like because we weren't allowed phones in school either. But going back home, I could speak to my online friends, like either like FaceTimes or just messaging. Like it was so fun because obviously, majority of my friends that are online are from being in this fandom, and I couldn't be more grateful to have made this many friends that I have in the fandom. And thank you, Max and Harvey, for helping me make these friends that I have, because I don't know where I'd be without them. And obviously, you and Max Tommy both specifically. As it feels like I'm saying this to them, not as if they're ever get. Hopefully, they could watch this, but if they don't, I'm gonna sound like a right witch.
And if they do, what are you doing here?
But yeah, so they definitely helped me through a lot of, especially my mainly my specifically of high school years. But even when I was going through troubles at home, it still wasn't fun for me. So they helped me through a lot for that. So Max Ho definitely been, especially when I feel because I'm not good with opening up my emotions. I'll tell you that one. So I can't feel like I can't speak to people about things. So like being able to watch Max and Harvey's videos or like the 13 Again podcast or edit or anything like that, like it's so helpful to me because it distracts me and it helps me escape from reality. And it's I love it because that's like the best thing I can do to kind of get out of the pit of sadness and whatnot. So moral story, yeah, they help. The reason that they've helped me is because of everything that's happened and in my life, and it's just been great that I've been able to become a fan of them. And content and everything.
How being a fan has helped me. As I said before, when I first became a fan, I was also in school. I was 15, so I think I was in my freshman year of high school. So it was just kind of trash all around. And as Jazz said, it kind of helped me escape from being from reality. Obviously, you shouldn't always do that. You still need to deal with things in life, but it really it just it helped me escape. At points, it helped me it. I obviously made friends because I haven't really had super close friends in the past couple years, so it's helped me keep a lot of the friends that I have in the fandom, and it's proved that I'm not alone.
You're never alone, and that goes for everyone as well. You're never alone.
Yeah, and because I suffer with a lot of health problems, mentally and physically, and it's shown that I'm never alone. It's helped me some way, somehow, every single time I'm going through a bad day, and it just it makes you happy. It makes you forget about the tough things going on in life, or it helps you through the tough things going on in life. Whenever I needed help, the boys have somehow been there to help me, not physically here, but
No, that's
No.
virtually,
whether it's a video message, whether it's interacting with my comments. I've received a couple messages from them. They have they've proven that I'm in the correct fandom. That's how they've helped me. They've helped me just continue on with life.
Helped me with my confidence because
Oh yeah, me too.
obviously they were the first ever big people that I ever met. So when I've met other social media influencers, or so for example Brad Simpson and Connor Ball, obviously they're from the Vamps. They're obviously not social media things, but they're musicians. Obviously Max and Harvey. First time I met Max and Harvey, I was very stuttery, I could barely speak, and then gradually every time I've met them, it's been great, and I've been able to speak, and they've definitely helped me with that, because when I first met Connor Ball, I actually spoke. I didn't stutter or anything like that. And I think that's because mainly meeting him was quite rushed because he had to go through everyone else meeting him as well. And with Brad, I did basically the exact same thing where I could just speak to him and not stutter and be like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" kind of thing. So thank you, Maximo, for that one. Really appreciate it.
They if you're scared of meeting them,
Don't be.
literally don't be, because whether you can keep a conversation or not, they can, and they'll keep you talking. Whether you respond or not, I had to work on that.
It's still normal to have your nerves. I still, to this day, realistically, I get slightly nervous when meeting them. But I think that's just a thing that I get every time because of my social anxiety.
The first time that I ever went to the UK to meet them and stuff, I'd literally known maybe 3 people, and obviously they weren't going. Only one of them was going to one of the shows I went to. So the first show I went to, I literally knew no one, and I was so terrified. Within the first 10 minutes, people were talking to me, people were including me in their pictures. They were basically getting my life story, and it just it proves that is so nice. You don't need to be scared of us. and that like you're wanted in the fandom. Like you're wanted and you're not gonna be left out. I've noticed in the past every time that I've went to the UK that if you see someone that's being left out within about 5 minutes, you're no longer being left out. Whether it's someone you know, whether it's someone you don't know, someone's gonna walk up to you and be like, hey, do you wanna come and sit with us? Do you wanna chat with us? How are you doing? What's your name? And it's so incredibly amazing to see all of this, and it's heartwarming.
100%. Best thing that's come out of being a fan.
Best thing that's come out of being a fan, the friendships that I've made. And it's definitely made me more confident and happy with myself for the most part, because I'm still very high anxiety and everything, and yeah, I forgot what I was saying. My friendships, that's what it was. But like, because I didn't really have many friends like growing up and stuff. I had my close few friends, and then that was basically it, because I grew up in a very, very, very small town. And you either grew up there from the start of like elementary school, because we have elementary, middle, and high school, but I didn't get there until the middle of middle school. So I was like, I didn't have like the closeness that everyone else had. Nothing compares to the friendships you make in a fandom. I literally had 2 people in the fandom in my wedding. I had so many people want invites for my wedding. So many people wanted videos and stuff for my wedding to see like how it was, so they could like feel like they were there.
I'm joking.
But like they like all showed that they cared and stuff, and that I wasn't alone, because I felt alone a lot of the time, and it's like, yeah, you're not alone. Whether it's group chats, whether it's super close friends, whether you live 5 minutes away or you live 8 hours away on a plane. But it just, and I'm not the greatest at responding to people, so
You have a whole time, depending on like who you speak to, you have a whole time zone difference.
yeah.
Sense to then if you're messaging someone in the same time zone.
Investing being a fan, your turn.
Wow. Definitely also say friendships, because as you say, like with you growing up, you barely had anyone. I basically say the same for me, because especially throughout my high school years, because everyone just, everyone grew up differently in our high school, and obviously everyone was going out of their phases of being friends with whoever and turning to different people and all of that. And I wouldn't say I definitely had that phase, but I just had a phase. Like, it wasn't really a phase for me either, but it was like I had a really close friend at first, at the start of like my first year of secondary, and then she turned out to be quite a fake person. So, and obviously that was before I became a fan of Max and Harvey, but even then, like, she was still being weird with me even after, like, when I became a fan of Max and Harvey. And so, I didn't really have many friends in high school. Like, I had a select few, but I wouldn't really, like, I wouldn't hang out with them as much as what other people did. So I was kind of always either on my own, or like when I did have my best friend at that time, I was also there was because me and my best friend at that time were always on and off arguing. So I'd look back and we'd laugh at these arguments now, but it was obviously quite serious back then, and it was very for me. The friendships, because when I first made my fan account, everyone was so welcoming. Like, words. Max, sorry. Technically, can't say that. I was about to say technically not, because it's also a vamp song, but it's both of theirs. But yeah, the friendships have definitely been the best thing to come out of being a fan, because as I say, when I first made my fan account, everyone was so welcoming, and I made like quite a few friends within basically the first few hours I made my fan account, and the rest of the years on, like even like years on, like now I've made new friends, and throughout the other years I've made new friends, and I'm probably gonna make new friends throughout the next however many years. So that's that, and also being able to have the recognition of Max and Harvey knowing who I am. Like I'm very extremely grateful that they know who I am. Because if you told, like, I would say 14-year-old me, but like I'd say 15 more specifically, because that's obviously, because 14-year-old me, I knew they weren't going to know me straight away. But like I knew, like, I was hoping at some point they'd probably, know who I am and all that. Not that I wanted them to, because if they ever did, I wouldn't be annoyed at them for not knowing who I am. I'm not that type of person. So that's another best thing, because it's like a bonus of being a fan of them, because what do you mean, out of the amount of fans they have, they know who I am. And
Yeah. Like, it's insane that, like, they know our names.
Crazy, but I'm very, again, I keep repeating it, because I want people to know that I am very extremely grateful for that. So yeah, those are the best things that have happened. Like,
As Jazz said, we are so extremely grateful, and that is part of the reason why we started the podcast, was because, like, people are able to interact with us more because we've been here for a fair amount of time, and it it would make it easier for people to, like, not be afraid. The funniest memory we have together.
oh, we have quite a few memories that have been fun. I think it was when we went to Nando's, and I tried my first Nando's, considering obviously you've tried more Nando's than I have, and I live in the UK.
I love Nando's.
The first time I tried Nando's was literally nearly 2 months ago.
I have a video of it.
It was after the day after the Birmingham show. So I think that was one. But I think the funniest one, when Chester, I think it's the day after. Also, like, I think when Chester happened, obviously was when obviously Max and Harvey recognised you were there, and it was like, that was fun to see. I loved that.
You legend.
My friends meet them. I love it.
I think the whole of Chester was really, like, it was very funny, especially that one thing that happened that we're not gonna talk about. But if you were there, you know what happened.
I think us running after Chester. So the next day, I think we went to Spoons. Charlotte and
Spoons! I also love spoons.
a drink.
She did. But I think it was just funny because there's like a group of, there's probably a group of like six of us. I'm not gonna say that other number I was gonna say.
You've already said it previously.
But there was like a group of like six of us, and all of us, besides one person, were dragging our suitcases around all of Chester. We went to Spoons with our suitcases. I didn't think about this, But we could have definitely left our suitcases at the hotel.
I didn't have a suitcase, I don't think. I think mine was my bag.
But still, we had like all these bags and suitcases and like purses and stuff, and it was just. We went to like a shopping center. We went to Spoons. We went to Tesco's.
I got my big mini egg spa from that.
Yeah, we went to all these places, and everyone was just looking at us, and we were like just having the time of our lives. There's so many reels of us with our suitcases, and half of us, because all of us only got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. So we were on like joggers and like hoodies and
in leggings for me because I don't really wear joggers.
Yeah, but we had like all these big clothes on, and we're just like, yeah.
I find myself after every DJ set I've been to, when I go back to the hotel, if I try and sleep, I'll get like about. I mean, I'm a lot better now. I'll get a bit more sleep now than what I used to do when I first started going to the DJ sets. I used to only get like 3-4 hours of sleep, and it was just not fun. Especially when you're traveling back home, it's very tiring. I know that for you, obviously, but like,
Very. The plane that I took, I had an hour flight to Dublin, and then Dublin to my close airport, and that was an 8-hour flight. And because I was so tired, because I didn't sleep for over 24 hours, which I tend to do a lot when I go over there and come back, but I hadn't slept in over 24 hours, and I was just like, I passed right out after that. I do think that is quite funny though. I just couldn't sit there, apparently.
what would you say our best, like for you personally, what would be our best memory together?
I think
It's definitely a hard one to think about.
I think one of them, a lot of them, like most of them.
Exactly. Like I can't pinpoint one.
Chester was definitely like just the whole of Chester was definitely really funny. Just every Sandhurst match, because we went to one of them, that Sandhurst match, and it was just it was very funny because we're all just like we're kind of like carefree there, and I like carefree there, and it's just so much fun because like it's just great. And the phones, Harvey taking all of our phones. He 10 phones like this, and look at me, I'm so cool. It was really funny. And then there was one more, and the whole of the last Glasgow show. That was literally like the Glasgow show had so many of us there, like that knew each other. We were literally just living our best lives. We were all like vlogging. We were all being silly. We were all like rooting for. Oh, when Bo did her TikTok. When Bo did her TikToks, because we all had our meet and greets and we were standing off to the side because we wanted to see if we could get a group picture. So there was like 10 of us. I'll show the picture that we did get our group picture. Our friend Bo, who you'll see somewhere on the screen. Our friend Bo, she did a TikTok of.
We're all just hyping her up.
We were all just hyping her up. We were all like, there was like 3 phones recording her trying to film her TikTok. And at one point, Harvey said we were awful friends.
Did he?
I think he said you need to get yourself some new friends because we were laughing at her.
Harvey!
Anyways, I think it's because we laughed at her for having to retake it. Maybe that she needed new friends. But we were all just standing there, we were recording her, hyping her up. And it was the Minions or whatever. In terms of money, we have no money.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so fun to watch because we were all just standing there, and Max, Harvey, and Tilly, and even Dobby were just like, what are you all doing? We're like, we want to see if we can get a group photo. And they're like, yeah, hurry up. So we all had all of our like coats and bags and everything. We all dropped them, and then we were like trying to get over there really quickly, and we all almost tripped on each other's bags. And
I had my bag with Joey.
And it was like, Dobby's like, I need a phone. I'm like, here. And I'm like, my phone is locked. I'm like, you got it? He's like, yeah. And it was so funny. But it was also funny because I'm one of our taller friends. I'm one of the tallest ones. And everyone was already like put up in the back. I'm like, why do you put the tallest one in the front?
Whoops.
And that was literally, that Glasgow show, I think, is one of my like favorite memories ever. It was so incredibly fun, and there were so many of us, and we were just enjoying life. Like, I think that's definitely one of the funniest and favorites.
I want to also say the first time I met you, because obviously, I think the first time every time you meet your friend, like, if you meet your friends for the first time, I think that's definitely a core memory as well. Like, so when I first met you, I know I was scared the living daylights out of you, but it was still like...
I think you scared Grandpa more than you even scared me.
Sorry, Grandpa.
Because he was like, do you know that girl? I'm like, no!
Oh, okay. Right then.
I'm like, he's like, do you know her? I'm like, no, but she has to be a Max and Harvey fan if she knows my name.
No. I'm joking, of course. Duh.
Yeah, we started the podcast to help more people to become a fan if they're too afraid to help people get more confident and go more out of their comfort zone, because this is very out of our comfort zone.
Way too out of my comfort zone.
Soon, but we thought it was a really good idea. We wanted to help others make friends, help others know that this is a great fandom to be in, and just be able to be themselves. They don't need to pretend to be someone that they're not in this fandom. And this fandom makes us happy. We thought we wanted others to get to know us more too. So yeah, we have come to an end. And
if you enjoyed this and you want to see us more in the future within these episodes, please like and subscribe.
And turn on the post notifications.
Yes. And comment if you want to. Obviously, appropriate comments, please. Thank you for watching. It means a lot to us that you even decided to watch this far, because we can yap for too long. So, yeah. Thank you for watching us. And hope you enjoy the rest of these future episodes that we do on It Was Never a Phase podcast. Also, be sure to follow our Instagram at It Was Never a Phase. Oh my gosh, It Was Never a Phase podcast.
I've been Pamela, Max and Harvey _fan02 on Instagram. That has been Jazz, which is Milksy Mills on Instagram. If you enjoyed this episode, come back next week when we interview our first ever guest. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you so much.